Greetings and welcome to the Halloween edition of the Sliders Review. Alright, let's address the elephant in the room. I know it's not Halloween. Alright, that's long past. But when it came to my Halloween videos, I ran out of time and I couldn't upload everything I wanted to. So that's why I'm uploading them past Halloween. But if you stop and look at it like this, at some point in time, it's gonna be Halloween time again, October. So somebody eventually will stumble upon my videos and watch it around Halloween time. So yeah, and I'm here today to talk to you about how Bride of Chucky and Seed of Chucky missed the mark. So these two movies, some fans like them, some fans don't. These movies came out in the late 90s and stuff. Bride of Chucky came out in 98. Basically, the reason for the huge shift is because Dan Marcini did not like Child's Play 3 that came out in 91. The script was rushed because he had to rush it because of the demands of Universal. And so, because of that, he took time off and everything. And so when Scream came out and reshaped the genre, he thought to himself, you know what? He can't keep with the same format. He's going to have to change as well. And so he took inspiration from that. You know, when Scream reshaped the genre, it reshaped it in a cool way. This, I just don't like. As a newly Chucky fan and everything, I just don't like these two movies. And so, with what he did was he went away from the slasher element and went more into the black comedy aspect of it. And it felt like it's more of a comedy than it is a slasher movie. There's still killing in it, but even the kills feel weird and bizarre. And, I just don't get it. If he wanted to create a doll that's a black comedy movie, why didn't he just create something completely different and just left Chucky alone until he came back to it many years later? But one thing these movies do is that they eliminate Andy. Andy is nowhere to be found in these movies. In fact, there's really no mention of him and stuff. And instead it focuses on Chucky. But not only that, but it introduces us to Jennifer Tilly, which I remember seeing the videos for this years ago, a little TV spot and stuff. I mean, whoa, Jennifer Tilly is hot. And so I've always wanted to see these movies because of her, but now since I saw them, I'm just like, ugh. But she's better in the television series. At least that show is a lot more enjoyable. But I give it up for Jennifer Tilly, man. She is the Tiffany Valentine is the live action Harley Quinn people have been asking for. She's deranged in the head. She's silly. She's sexy. She's unpredictable and stuff. And she also has an actual heart to her. So she's a very fleshed out character in this first iteration and stuff. And so, with the Bride of Chucky, she finds the Chucky, messed up body from long time ago. And she sews him back up. And she also put some new doll parts on him. So technically he kind of has a new body, kind of don't. Now this is when the voodoo spell starts to change a lot more. Now, instead of just putting your hand on the person's forehead and this and that and, chanting and stuff, now you need an amulet. The amulet that Charles had when he died in the first movie. When was this ever established? Maybe this is why he couldn't transfer his soul into nobody else's body. But then when you get the curse of Chucky, you don't need the amulet no more. So now you need this MacGuffin in the movie. So this movie is basically a road trip. And that's literally all it is. It's a road trip where Chucky and Tiffany are just chuckling it up. They just giggling and laughing it up and everything. And it's weird and it's bizarre. Now, before I go any further, may John Ritter and Alexa Arquette rest in peace. It's weird knowing that they're both in this movie and they died by the hands of Chucky and that they're dead in real life. And so, Both are extremely famous and everything. Alex used to be a man and then turned herself into a woman. And I remember I saw her in Xena one time when he used to be a man. And so, like, she's part of the famous Arquette family. And John Ritter is just John Ritter. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know who he is, shame on you. And so, like, one thing that's interesting that Dan Marcini took something from what he wanted to be in Child's Play 3. In Child's Play 3, there's supposed to be a security guard played by John Ritter. Instead, he brought him in this movie and made him the police chief. He's an overbearing uncle to a girl named Jade. Jade is played by Katherine Heigl. I love myself some Katherine Heigl, but sadly, this was not a good movie for her to be in. And I really didn't like her performance all that well in here, even though I do like her as an actress. And so, like, we get introduced to two new characters, a boyfriend-girlfriend couple. And, well, Nick Stable plays, the boyfriend and stuff. And, well, they just don't do it for me. They're a couple who madly in love and have to hide their relationship. And then they go on this road trip because he has to deliver the two dolls to, like, Hacky Sack. The first reference to Hacky Sack. So that, Chucky can get the amulet and transfer his souls into their body. Since, supposedly they're the first ones to interact with these dolls and know that they're alive. Problem is, Chucky interacted with somebody before he interacted with that of this dude. He interacted with a random guy at like a movie theater type place. One of those outdoors type thing. So technically he can't even transfer his soul into this dude's body unless they change the rules of that as well. Now, Tiffany is a very, like I said, interesting character. She's very much the Harley Quinn, but she was human in the beginning of this movie. Basically, Chucky gets like jealous that she's with another guy, and then she realizes, she don't need Chucky because Chucky's not gonna marry her, and the ring he gave her was something he was just gonna pawn, and so she tries to kill. Oh no, she tries to keep Chucky confined and everything, and doesn't want him to transfer his soul because she likes him as like a little baby like that. Well, he ends up electrocuting her, kills her, and transfers her soul into that of a Tiffany doll. Or a porcelain doll or whatever. So she's upset by this because she is now in a doll's body. Now I will say the animatronics on the mouth movements do not match what neither of the stars are saying. So it's kind of like that Child's Play 1 crap. In Child's Play 2 they perfected it, but in Child's Play 3 it's like whatever, And so she convinces, this dude to take him on a road trip to Hacky Sack. So he takes his girlfriend, he wants to marry her. Well, of course, Chucky ends up killing the uncle, stuffing him in the car. There's been so many incidents where they should have been found out, but they wasn't. And it's funny how they had to clean up the blood in doll form and hide the body and this and that. The way they killed him originally was with nails. They put nails near, the airbag deployment area in the glove department, and boom, nails just go in the face. And I'm just kind of like, why are you gonna kill somebody like that? That's just weird. But then he doesn't stay dead, so then they have to hack him up. And so Jade and her boyfriend, they have a gay best friend. Now, Danny Marcini is gay, and he's been wanting to introduce an LGBT character. Only problem is, you can tell he's gay, but he doesn't say he's gay. He doesn't really have a boyfriend, nothing like that. If you want to have representation, actually say he's gay. And so, so with the road trip, the couple are constantly bickering with one another because they keep thinking the other person killed all these people and this and that. And so they end up married and don't want to be married because they think the other person is now a killer. They make for a very uninteresting characters in this franchise. They just seem like they're there. And they don't really have no chemistry with each other. And so they get introduced to this other couple who steals their money, and Chucky and Tiffany kill them in a very bizarre kind of way where they throw a wine bottle on top of the ceiling and glass falls on them and kills them and stuff. The kills are very uninteresting in this movie. You can tell this is very 90s and stuff. They were trying for something new and it just didn't work and stuff. Not only that, but the dialogue isn't really all that intense. They're still cussing and this and that, but it's not as cool as it was in the 80s when they can get away with saying stuff like that. And so this movie just feels like a hollow shell of its former self, to the point where there's like this cop, and they have to, like, try to kill Chucky towards the end and everything, and Tiffany and stuff, only for things to go like not the way they want. And so Tiffany comes to realization that Chucky's just not good enough for her, and they fight. The ending does get pretty cool with the doll fight and everything, with them fighting with shovels. Chucky's trying to kill everybody and all this other stuff. That gets pretty interesting, and I like that. But anyways, after Chucky is now shot to death once again, the cop lets the couple go because he realizes, oh look, there are killer dolls and everything. And so then it ends with Tiffany giving birth to the twins. Why? Because there's a very disturbing scene where the two dolls have sex and everything. And you can even see the little doll's booty, and they're taking off the clothes and stuff. This should not have been put in the movie. It's very stupid. And so a lot of people are wondering how two dolls are to make bodies. Well, of course, when you're in the souls in the doll's body for too long, they start to turn like, human, but in doll form. Still weird, still weird, still weird. Because the thing is that in the third movie, Chucky's all like, man, I gotta get out this body. Because he was looking at like a Playboy and stuff, and he wants to go back to having a you-know-what. So now it's established that when your doll form does start to resemble that of a human, like anatomy, and so now he is able to grow that, which is weird. So it contradicts that of the third movie. And so, like, this movie is just weird. Like, it's just bizarre. And somehow it got greenlit to make like Seed of Chucky. And I don't understand how. Because nothing's really all that impressive in this movie. Now, I do like the introduction of Tiffany and stuff, because she's a very interesting character. At first, I wasn't like sure how I was going to feel about her. But then, as time passes, it does nice to see those two dolls interact with each other. However, it is weird and bizarre that, like, in the next movie, she takes over the body of the real Jennifer Tilly. So it's like her and Jennifer Tilly are what, twins or something? Because it don't make sense, because when you watch a TV series, the younger Tiffany looks completely different and stuff. So, these movies just missed the mark. But now let's get into Seed of Chucky. So before I go any further, this movie franchise does establish that Voorhees and Mike Myers are in the same universe. This is something that Dan wanted to do in the third movie, but because of budget reasons, he couldn't. So this is very interesting and stuff, It would have been interesting more to see like an entire movie franchise with all of them in there, but oh well. Seed of Chucky is one of 3 movies that were not made by Universal. That being the first movie, this movie, and of course the reboot in 2019. I can't even talk. Seed of Chucky. I will admit, I did laugh a couple of times watching this because it's pretty hilarious. But it's not a slasher, it's just a dark comedy. Yeah, some people die here and there to have that slasher aspect, but the kills aren't really all that great. Some are kind of cool, but it's nothing we haven't seen before. And it's just kind of like, I don't know, man. I don't like that campy vibe to Chucky. He's just not Chucky. That's like if you were to take Michael Myers and put him in a stand-up comedy club in like his next movie. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't work. However, I will say, because this movie has really no plot. The only plot of this movie is that Tiffany and Chucky want to get Jennifer Tilly pregnant, and so that Tiffany can transfer her soul into Jennifer Tilly. That's basically all it. And they fight over the gender of like the baby they made and stuff. That's not a really huge like plot. It would have been a huger plot, like say if like they would have ran around town trying to get Jennifer Tilly, terrorizing her and like, trying to kill her, this and that. But it was like none of that. Mostly Jennifer Tilly, like the fictional Jennifer Tilly, was pretty much the entire main character of the movie. Don't get me wrong, boy. I love Jennifer Tilly. Thank God she was in these Chucky movies because I've never seen her in nothing else. I've heard her voice in Family Guy, but that's about it. I remember when I saw her, like I told you before, and I saw her long time ago. I'm like, man, she is hot, and she's still hot today, even though she's in her 50s and stuff. Like she is killing it and stuff, and she is one of the better parts of this movie. Basically, she has a lot of scenes, both vocal and live action and stuff, and she's really doing a good job. She should really get more roles, and I always assumed her voice was that raspy sounding voice, but no, she makes it sound that way whenever she does like animation and voice work and stuff. Just like with Tiffany, that's like a fake voice. Her real voice is the Jennifer Tilly voice and stuff. But she is just gorgeous, man. Like, I really mean it. And I guess that's why so many, and so it's like, what I was gonna say. I forgot. But anyway, but this movie, it wasn't nothing exciting. The characters are just like whatever. I could care less about them. The plot is like whatever. And it's just like a laugh ride of a movie and stuff. And it's a movie that doesn't explain much. Like, I know Dan Marcini took inspiration from Scream. So I guess he's like, all right, let's turn Chucky into an actual movie and stuff. Just like they did like the Scream franchise with Stab. But here's the thing. What the old detective from the last movie, when he saw the doll give birth to like a baby doll, dude, that's all the proof he needed to prove that Chucky is really a soul inside that of like a doll. Then, Andy would have been free from jail earlier. His mom would have been getting out the same asylum. They would never locked up Nico many years later. But yeah, that's never explained. It's left up in the air and stuff. So, because Chucky and Tiffany were dead and everything. And Glenn grew up to be looked like a 5-year-old boy or something like that. And then after all that, how the heck did he get all the way to London and everything? Like, seriously. And I guess he developed like a British accent and stuff like that because of the person that he was with doing the ventriloquist type stuff. But seriously, how in the world did he get way over there and stuff? Why did he think he was born in Japan or Japanese because it would say made in Japan and stuff? He shouldn't even know what a Japan is. How did he know to mail himself all the way to America when he saw Chucky and them on TV? Also, just because he saw made in Japan on Chucky's wrist don't mean that, you know what I'm saying? They're the same, that's his parents, something like that. Also, when was Chucky ever made in Japan? We saw him made in America. So that don't make no sense. So, because in the third movie, he was made in America. So, a lot of crap don't make sense in this movie and stuff. How in the world did he resurrect, their dead souls into these current Chucky dolls with just that amulet by reading on the back of it? Just by reading the back don't mean, okay, well, that person's soul gonna go in these bodies, but that could be anybody's soul. Why there specifically and stuff? And why in those dolls, Also, when they was jerry rigging the doll's bodies, putting electronic stuff in there, then they see blood come out when they attached the things in the back. I don't understand that because we saw they had flesh inside them whenever they opened up Tiffany. By the way, once again, Jennifer Tilly, the voice and animatronics were a lot better than that of the last movie. The mouth movements matched up with what she was saying, and it was so compelling. You really felt for the Tiffany doll and everything. When she was laying down and the person was opening up her back and all those noises she was making, that sounded so real, and you felt so bad for her and stuff. And it's they should have saw flesh when they put the electronic stuff in order to make them move. And so it's just a lot of stuff just don't make any sense in this movie. And not only does it not make sense in this movie, but everything that followed after this, into the Curse of Chucky and Cult of Chucky and the television series, still once again don't make any sense and everything. Like, why did, like, Tiffany go back and get the Chucky doll? Where did she find him at? Why did she decide to sew him back up and everything? Why did she decide to partner with him again? Like, why? And once again, if he's so happy being a doll and hates being human because of all the limitations there is to being human, like growing old and die and all this other stuff, why did he want to go in Nico's body so badly? That don't make any sense and stuff. And so, like, I don't know, man. It's just odd and bizarre. And once again, like, like, I guess they found out a way to split the souls into multiple bodies and stuff because originally, you can only go in the person that you expose yourself to. And it's just odd and bizarre. Now, I will say this movie did have some early gender identity stuff going on, and it was like one of the first you ever saw around this era, and you didn't see stuff like that back then. And so, like, I think the way they handle it was very well done. It's more realistic as opposed to modern day, where everybody, like, when somebody's coming out the closet, everybody's all like, I don't care, or I'm cool, whatever. Anyway, but here you had one parent that was totally cool with it, and the other one that was pissed off and everything. For whatever reason, they kept fighting over the gender when he clearly looks like a boy and always went that way because we didn't know his split personality at that time. And so, like, they de-pantsed him. That was so odd. He kept peeing on himself. And it's like, they all like, see, I told you it's a girl, but there was no vagina monologue, dude. Like, there was no JJ down there, and there was no like Wang down there either. So it's like he was just like doll parts and stuff. So I don't know why they was fighting over the gender, and then all of a sudden, all now he's all like confesses that sometimes he feels like a dude, and sometimes he feels like a gal and everything. And it turns out he has a split, or they have a split personality. And to the point where the girl side of him murders folks, and the guy is timid and scared and stuff. And so, so it made sense when they had twins, which is, oh my God, I can't believe they did what they did to Jennifer Tilly. They just put the souls up in that. And, it's alluded to, and you get the idea that, yeah, towards the end, when you find out that the girl has more of an angry side and she does bad stuff, then they must have put the Glenda soul in the girl and put Glenn's soul in the boy. And, when the TV show came around, which I still have not seen the second half of the second season, I stopped watching once the twins showed up because I don't have cable. I could just do the whole like Peacock thing, but I don't feel like it right now. And so, like, I can't even wait till the third season for this writer's strike. Maybe I should do Peacock soon and finish the rest of it. So anyway, so yeah, I wonder how the twins. I wonder how in the TV show how they was portrayed because I heard they lost the British accent and everything, but then once they went back in the Glen doll, they had the accent again. But for the most part, the plot is just Tiffany Valentine seeing that Jennifer Tilly looks just like her, and she's been a fan of hers for years. And so she just wants to take over her body, and Tiffany's like slutting herself out to get like a movie with Red Man of all people. What has he been up to? I haven't heard anything from Red Man or Method Man. And so so she's trying to like get with him and to get like a role, and some of that was pretty hilarious and everything. And then Chucky's like, well, I guess I'm gonna be a black dude. He seems pretty cool with that until he kills him and realizes, yo, I don't want to be human no more and stuff. And he came to his identity, so that's kind of like a double thing there with the whole Glenn and Glenda realizing what they are, and then Chucky realizing what he is and stuff, and accepting who he is, because he says he's proud to be a serial killer. Oh my God. But I do like how Tiffany, had this huge story arc in the movie where, she just wants to be married and a parent and wants to do good. She doesn't want to kill no more, but the killer instinct is in her and she slipped up and she's doing these 12 steps. Like, she's really trying. Like, there are so many layers to her. I still say she is the best version of Harley Quinn live action we've ever had, and she's not even playing Harley Quinn because Chucky is Joker and she is Harley Quinn and everything. Like, those two fit each other to like a T. And but I still can't believe they were showing like doll body parts, man. Oh my god, man, seriously. And like, Hannah was in this movie from S Club 7. I used to love myself some Hannah and everything, man. She was one of my favorites and stuff from that show. Boy, S Club 7 really was back in the day and stuff. But yeah, it's just this movie was just overly too silly and everything. It was funny. And yeah, I laughed like crap, dude, I'm laughing. But it was funny and everything. But I didn't want to laugh because it's supposed to be a slasher thing. And it's kind of like it's fine to reinvent the genre. But Dan Marcini just went too far with these last two movies and stuff. The Bride and the Seed and everything. It's just like, why did he want to go that campy route? I just don't get it. Chucky went from being a deranged psycho killer to a slasher, like, dude and everything. And it's just so odd and weird. So I'm so glad he went back to form with his later installments. But then again, in that second season, man, of like the Chucky series, he went back to the camp. And, it must have hurt the show because it took forever for that show to get a third season. And it's going to take even longer for it to come out because they can't write it right now because of the writer's strike. And so, yeah, I'm so happy I finally saw all these Chucky movies. Now I just got to watch the 2019 reboot, which has nothing to do with this franchise. That wasn't that spooky. All right, well, I shall talk to y'all later. Bye.